Top 10 Opportunities for Christian Stewardship Services.
So in the interest of time, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the unique opportunities. There's two on your sheet, and I'll just introduce them, but I want to echo what a few of us have said. You know, we can quarterback, we can work with you. And a new illustration that Maynard and I saw at the Gift Planners Conference this fall, a few of you already also saw. I'm going to tie it into golf. How many of you golf? Only a few. But if I gave you a golf ball, right, how far could you throw it? Anybody going to throw it 50 yards? You can do that. Okay. All right. So 50 yards. Is that the most? Anybody can throw it a little further? 100 yards. All right. There we go. So you can throw a ball. It's a ball. It's simple. You can throw that ball. But at CSS, we have this bag full of tools, bag full of clubs that we can supply you with, and you can use those clubs to get that ball exactly where you want it to go. If it's a far distance, right, then we actually have the best tool around. It's called a driver, right? So even Henry over there, I'll bet you he could use that driver and hit it farther than his 100 yards.
But not where he wants it.
Oh, right? So that's perfect. That's exactly the thing, right? Not where he wants it possibly. But he might use a different tool and be able to use it much better than you. His putter might be much more accurate than yours, right? So we have a bunch of tools that we can use in specific situations. And we have to know from you which tool it is, you know, that's going to fit the best. But we'll bring that bag of tools along and allow you to use them and work with you to, we can be your caddy, right? We can walk alongside you and become more effective with it. So there's two on that sheet there. There's an endowment fund, and there's an example at the bottom. The school in Washington, you know, 30 years ago they started with a considerable amount, but $250,000. But that's not going to generate that much income for that school. But 30 years later, they have over $6 million in that fund, and it's generating, you know, $300,000 a year in income that school then can use. So, you know, you got to start somewhere. You start with an endowment fund. We were able to work with a client to take some money from their RSP tax effectively, as Wayne mentioned, and start an endowment fund for a school. So it starts somewhere, and then in the future, there's a result. And then Wayne is actually going to share a story about using life insurance. You know, life insurance is the second one that's mentioned there. That's not for everybody, but there's certain situations where it can be very effective. And Wayne's going to expand on what he mentioned a little earlier and about that story.
Me again. Marinus mentioned that sometimes where you have the right tools, you can hit the ball a lot farther. And I'd like to tell a story about working with one person that CSS was able to help. We were asked by one of our partners to go sit down with this person because they had an idea. They wanted to make a gift and they wanted some input. This particular person wanted to make a gift of life insurance, but they wanted a second set of eyes to look over it, a set of eyes that wasn't going to get a commission off the insurance sale to make sure that it was in the person's best interest. So I had a chance to go sit down with them just for a cup of coffee. And we evaluated their decision, their desire to do this life insurance gift. They were hoping to do a $1 million life insurance policy. And we wanted to evaluate that in the context of their overall estate plan. We took a look at their future taxes, and other than some money that they had in RSP, they really had no taxes to their estate. All of their taxation was happening during their lifetime. They had no real need for the RSP at retirement or for the tax receipt to their estate. So if they could get tax receipts during their lifetime, that would suit them perfect. So I had a chance to sit down with them, and we realized that because of that, there was really no benefit to them setting up their life insurance gift the way their advisor had decided. With them as the owner, they would just pay the premiums like you or I would on our term insurance policies. There would be no benefit to them whatsoever. So I discussed with them the opportunity to name CSS as the owner of the policy and as the beneficiary of the policy, and we would then, when the person passed away, distribute the funds to charities of their choice. So every premium payment they made, we would issue them a donation receipt for it during their lifetime. So at this point, while they're paying tax, while they're facing this hit, they're able to offset that with donation credits. The same gift goes to charity later, but it won't generate $1 million of unneeded tax credits. So then I sort of expanded and went a little further with that conversation and said to this family, you have this RSP, and if you have this to your estate, you will need a tax receipt for that. But what if you donate that to CSS, and then we use that policy, or that RSP, all the money from that, to throw it into your life insurance policy, and we make the policy bigger, because by doing that it discounted the premiums and it helped it pay for itself sooner. And so actually by tying all of these tools together, we were able to solve some estate planning and income tax needs for the person. We were able to help determine if the tool was the right choice for them. And what we ended up doing was, at the same cost to the donor, we turned a $1 million life insurance policy into a $6 million life insurance policy that they will then eventually give to the charities of their choice. I was fairly involved in meeting with their advisors, their accountant, their lawyer. We also tied this into their estate documents. And off the get-go, their accountant said, this can't be done. The accountant said it was impossible. No, that's not true. It's not impossible, it's unconventional. There's a difference. And so by using the right tools, you're able to overcome that and make things possible that otherwise they might not be able to do. So that's my story about life insurance. That's what we use that RSP for, and CSS can help you and your donors do the same.
CSS can help. Call 1-800-267-8890 or visit us online at csservices.ca. Thank you.